Hello, welcome to Tarot for Our Times. This is Sarah, your medium on the go. And I know that a lot of these readings from me and my colleagues there's a lot of the Epstein thing, but it is a story that is not going away. And not even when our fearless leader jumps across the pond to his golf courses in Scotland. So the whole gist of these readings will be he thinks he's the winner, but he isn't. And we're using the Six of Wands, which if you see in my thumbnail, I call the Six of Clubs because I've photoshopped golf clubs where the wand should be. And it's very important because we saw him on camera cheating with his caddy taking the ball out of the rough and plopping it in a very convenient place. So that shows us that he cheats at golf. Well, we knew that, but I mean, that was real. That was, anybody had any doubts, just you can go to any Midas Touch, Mary Trump, take your pick. They're all showing that. I don't know that the corporate media is showing that because I don't watch them, but those people are. So it's the this is a whole trip filled with delusions. Delusions that the people of Scotland absolutely adore him. And I have to say that they are probably the most creative group of people with protest signs that I have ever seen. And you can learn a whole lot of Scottish slang, which is really so much more imaginative than ours, on these signs. So he's okay, so he thinks he's the greatest golfer, but he needs to cheat. He thinks that he is loved, which he is. And even though they pretty much tried to shield him from that, I mean, you can't really completely. And in some of those talks that he had with the bigwigs from the EU, oh my God, smirk. I thought, what's a smirk? I forgot. Oh yeah, that's a smirk. And the thing is that all around he thinks that he is winning, which actually he is losing. And although the golf thing may be a piece of fluff on one hand, on the other hand, it is very revealing about who he is all about. I suspect that adults, when he was growing up, that they let him win all the time, or he would have thrown a big tantrum. So that seems to be something he never outgrew. So I want to see what are going to be the results of this trip, because I have been spending time, a lot of times I spend time watching these videos to see, like, what am I going to do a reading about, because it's totally overwhelming, the things that are breaking all the time. And it just occurred to me, yes, I knew I had a meme of him. I put some weight up. I had the horseman on the Six of Wands, gained a few pounds through the magic of whatever I do. And so I took that and I added the golf clubs. So it's his delusion, I think he is sounding like, really, I mean, he was making with the windmills and all kinds of the crazy stuff that he does. It just wasn't making any sense, and he's bragging about all the deals that he's made, which really is a zero. So it also, I may do what I want to do is that, like, the results of this trip, and I might do some about I asked this before, what's going to happen to his trip to the UK, which is coming up in about a little over a month. Because I understand, I haven't seen that one yet, but I understand King Charles has been throwing him some shade. So how welcome is he going to be? I mean, he's already seen they came out in droves in Edinburgh and Aberdeen and all the other cities. And I have visited Edinburgh my first time at Arthur Findlay's College of Psychic Studies, and I made, after the 2 weeks I spent there was up, I did make a side trip up to Edinburgh, and it is a beautiful, beautiful city, and the people are really nice, incredibly nice. I don't think I met one rude person, just the nicest people, and it's apparently not, I'll add the smartest people too, because they were out in droves. It was kind of nice to see some of those old streets that I remember. So he somehow thinks that the people just love him. I think there were someone pro-Trumper posted something about how he was warmly greeted, and there were like maybe less than 20 people standing at the road when that whole line of cars was coming in, and I thought, well, that's underwhelming. Okay, so alrighty, so let's see the effect that this is going to have. So let me lower the, okay, so with the present energy, what I'm going to do is just a little different. Okay, so with the before tarot, I'm going to say right before he left, we have, the seven of wands, which usually shows the person. I think he's saying a little prayer before he picks that up as the others are coming up the hill. But I do have to say this, he better not be doing that for too long, because they're coming up the hill to get him. And I do believe, his eyes are closed. So this is perfect. And so after that, what'll that be? As he's winding it down in the after tarot, let's see what that's going to be. We have the devil in reverse. So this is the after, when he's back home, fewer people tied to the devil. There, let's see. The lovers are, they're having a good time. They're having a good time on the ground, so they're not really paying attention to him. So I think there are more people that he is losing. So we're going to put something smack dab in the middle. Here is our main card, and we have the, wow, we cannot make this stuff up. We have the Emperor in reverse. That is the main trump card in reverse, because it's the Emperor has no clothes. The Emperor, is losing power, and he's just getting nastier and crazier. Wowee. This is just amazing stuff when you think of it. Okay, so the energy around this is, oh boy. He's in rough waters, and these are the tariff talks. He thinks that just by charging the EU 15% is he's balancing. But look at that. That boat's about ready to capsize. He's standing on a little dock or something, and that he's just about 2 seconds away from those waves coming. So he's living, talk about the illusion. He's living in the illusion that he's going to balance out the economy through these tariffs, even though they're lower than his usual. It's still going to create chaos and mess for the rest of the world. So, underlying all of this, we have in the past I think this may be for the rest of us, trying to get through this, knowing the storm will end, and that gravity is going to pull those swords out of that heart. So maybe the thing is, as he is deteriorating, there may be some hope for healing. So then we have, he may be over there, but more is being revealed. Much more is being read. There's new talks about the tapes in the Epstein prison area. A whole lot of new stuff, I think. Which one of those blondes? Oh yeah. The news girl. The news girl wearing the cross. I think that she got slapped with some kind of subpoena. And then we have, as more is revealed, we have the minor arcana for the death card. Good music background for that. And he's over there, but there are people living more and more living in the land of FAFO, and they're really living there. And I think many of them without hope, saying that there is an end to it. As I say, it won't be sudden, but it is very much but all people can do is just living in this, like, when is this ever going to end? This is not a good place to be. But I think this is a delusionment. The Five of Cups, more people, there's nothing like pedophilia to really wake some people up, whether it's pedophilia or pedophile enabling, and of course for good time to say for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so on the conscious level, we have the Empress, and that, which I usually see for Russia, that is, she's always popping up in these readings. So I would say that I think this is one of those we can walk and chew gum at the same time, because while the European leaders are, there is a Jeffrey Epstein concern, the Epstein files, but they're also talking about the whole thing with Russia and Ukraine. And I think that is on their mind foremost. I think the Epstein files thing, they may be trying to see a Russia connection with this, because oligarchs and the mob, I think, are kind of blended into one. So maybe they're thinking about a Russian connection, and of course they're not going to talk to Taco about that at all. So I think that's foremost. I think the Epstein thing is bringing out the international problem with this trafficking bit, and that he's been connected with they're talking about Mossad, but I think it's not like he's working for them, but he's selling them information, because there's nothing like this sort of sordid stuff that is good for blackmail and having the upper hand with people. So I think Epstein is selling to the highest bidder, and I think they're looking at Russia. They're looking at Russia to see what part, and it's Russia invading Ukraine and all this sort of thing. Somehow there could be a lot of this tied together too. This is what I'm starting to see as well, and I think what this is telling me is that the European leaders are. So let's see, on the subconscious level, we have the Knight of Cups. Is that this is all very serious, and they're actually dealing right now, the subtext is they're dealing with an immature predator, okay, who is declining cognitively. They know he's cognitively declining with these press conferences and everything. Okay, so in the past we have temperance, and that is the balance between the left brain, the right brain, the thinking, logic, and the spiritual, emotional things. So this is the I should think that these people in Europe are probably thinking, well, I guess the bright side of this is that we're not him, and this is leaving out like the dictators of Turkey and Hungary, but basically knowing that their sanity and balance will prevail. Whoops, almost lost my mic there. Okay, so, and then in the before tarot we have, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is not everything is quite in place yet, like it is with the present Wheel of Fortune. But what I'm seeing is that the world is seeing that with the Epstein thing may have the key to it, is that things are not in place, but they're moving towards that, and they will be. And it's hard to say, but this is kind of a catalyst. I won't say this is the big thing that changes everything, but this is the thing that's moving things along. So this is kind of getting into its place while they sit back. I think this is kind of temperance, and the Wheel of Fortune is in the before is saying they're sitting back. They're going to sit back and see that this guy is imploding, and just kind of humoring grandpa around. So in the present we have the Seven of Wands. This is him. Oh, this is interesting because we had him before. We had him before here. I got them in the wrong thing. But anyway, okay. So he's already, he could have prayed and do whatever he's doing, but in the end, right now, he really doesn't have the upper hand, but he's living in the illusion that he does, which is pretty much the message of this card in reverse. They know they've got the upper hand with him, but and he thinks he does, but he doesn't. Okay, so in the not too distant future we have partnerships, and I have to, what I'm seeing this is that these EU people and the UK as well, because Scotland is still part of the UK. They're not. Ireland is EU, but Scotland isn't, because it's still part of the UK. I think that there are partnerships that when they have the same enemy that is threatening world peace and to crash the world economy, there are new alliances that are being made. What this tells me also, they're still standing, that somehow, and this could be capped off with the visit in September, is that there may be moving back to the EU. There's been a lot of buyer's remorse. The farmers they're screwed. The small business people, what I think is happening is that it's quite possible that now it may not be tomorrow, but the UK may be moving back to the EU, and I wouldn't be surprised if a few feelers were thrown out as a result. But they will be talking about it more, because when they see what they're up against with Taco cozying up to Putin and all this sort of thing, I think the UK is definitely reviewing its World War II history. And so I didn't expect to see this happen, but what I'm seeing is that there may be moving back towards that. And if they do decide it won't be any of this like 5-year or whatever thing that it took them to leave, that they could make it very quick. Now they're still in NATO, but I think they're realizing with this crazy person, they need more than that. So that, I'll get back to you in a couple of years. Okay, so let's see. We have in the after tarot, I think this was up. The Page of Swords. Yes. This follows very well because this is a new message. This is definitely a new message. So he's seeing, oh, this is interesting. So he's gotten the idea, he's pondering it, and he's ready for these people that are coming his way to talk to them. So this is telling me there could be, and they're not going to be real open about it, but I think there's some chit chat about maybe them joining forces. So, okay, so then we have there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another election in the not too distant future. So further out in the future, we have the Three of Wands in reverse, which is telling me that unless things change and we get rid of this monstrosity, is that there is a further like more than an arm's length distance between the United States and the rest of the world, these people that he's been talking to, and that there could be trouble with trade because this is a merchant. I would also say, because it is a 3, I would say that the next 3 months is going to be very crucial. Very, very crucial as we go for August, September, as we go to the next end of the year. If they see that this is really falling apart and that this whole administration could be wiped out, that there could be a change. But right now, it's the distance. So let's see. In hopes and the fears, we have the Chariot. Oh, and then this Chariot's like in all this water. And okay, so the Chariot is this is kind of like moving moving very, very rapidly. So what this is telling me is that they are going to be moving ahead, whether we like it or not, or with us or without us. But the fear is that I think with the saner people here and those abroad, is that even though things are tense with the U.S., maybe the fear is they do need us. We've been their allies in a couple of very big wars over the little over 100 years. So the fear is that we may go down the rabbit hole of fascism. So, but they're going to move forward. They are going to have to move forward just the same. So the concluding card of this, what's going to result in this, is the the Nine of Cups. Usually this is the smug merchant, but we have I would say a young lady, probably a crafts person, but it is about being taken out of the usual comfort zone emotionally. So I think what this is that he may be in his land of delusion, but that is not going to make anybody more love him. And that this, I'm seeing this, if he is as delusional about this trip, and probably he really got next to nothing done, except gave these people overseas a few chuckles with his, really. But I think that the whole thing is that the Epstein thing isn't going away. He has no control over the press over there. And he actually said they were doing a good job. I said, oh, talk about denial and delusion here. So, yep, so I think with that's definitely, I think what's happening is that when it's getting embarrassing for a lot of people. I mean, they could say, oh, who cares about the Europeans? When we start paying, I mean, they may make more cars over here, but what's going to happen is that we still need to buy the parts overseas, and that's what's going to make them more, along with the tariffs, of the, it's just overall going to make things like cars and other things that we are going to manufacture. We don't make all the components of it, so it's not really going to create those jobs that but apparently he dozed off during the tariff day, the tariff section on the 9th grade civics. Really, I always thought they were really quite not rocket science to understand. So the reception of this whole thing was so bad. And then with King Charles just making some snide remarks about him, it makes me wonder. Now I know that he's not going to be, they're not going to let him anywhere near Parliament. That's why they scheduled it. But I kind of wonder, is he going to be there? I know they're going to shuttle him off to the castle in Scotland for a while, but so I somehow get this vision of King Charles like spending 5 minutes where you have the state dinner and or something, and that's it. Not all that other, like the teas and all that other stuff. Although sitting with him at a meal, okay, we won't go there. Okay, so I want to see what's going to, it's going to be a short one. I want to see what is going to happen. How is this going to affect, I think I did that one. How is this going to affect his trip in September? Because they've already got a preview, and what I'm seeing so far is that they're going to make some adjustments. Okay, we can't really have press conferences too late in the day because, he'll be on jet lag, so sundown time will be coming pretty early. But right now sundown time has been, even here, it's been happening at noon. So, but I think they're going to make some adjustments. Security-wise, it's got to be a nightmare. What I'm wondering about that's the big thing. So I just want to do a shorter read on how will this affect his upcoming trip. Okay, so let's put this down. So the main card here is, the 9 of Cups. I think the thing is that they're going to try to keep him in his comfort zone and somewhat insulated. Okay, this is, I did shuffle those. Interesting that she would come up again. Okay, so in the before, leading up to doing this, we have Seven of Pentacles reverse. This is also the realization that with all of the preparation, there's no great way of doing this. This is okay. So this is telling me there could be some serious doubts. No matter how they plan, the fruit of the tree is going to be poisonous. So this may be talking about second thoughts that they may be having. So what could be a result of them trying to figure this out? In the after tarot we have, okay, oh, again, they'll realize no matter what they do, they will have missed the mark. They will have missed the mark, and the whole thing is that hoping that when a lot of things happen, it won't be a disaster. But this is not looking good. So energetically, we have so many challenges they're going to be up. What I'm seeing about this trip is that there's a lot of stuff that we don't even know about, that they realize, well, with any other leader, even if it were some dictator like Putin or Karzai or whatever, that, he'll go beyond whatever, eggshells they have to walk over. So they're realizing this is going to be a big challenge, and maybe wondering if it's going to work. The only thing they have as an excuse is King Charles' illness, and he's pretty ill, although he didn't look bad during the Canada thing. So let's see, in opposition, I'm going to this deck, in opposition of all of this, we have this is taking a break and taking it easy. This is definitely, and they don't have that luxury. Although what this tells me is that maybe they just need to lie back, take a deep breath, not for very long, and consider, the Swords is about communication, kind of clear their heads and then figure out what is going to happen. So we will go from, we'll start doing the timeline. So then in the before, the King of Swords in reverse. So he's getting ready. They know with him, he will not be grasping the sword of truth. So they have got, if he comes, they have got to really brace themselves because he told so many lies the last time. This is one of those things, what are they going to do? Okay, so in the present, more in the present, we have the Chariot. They know that any talks that they have about trade and this and that, it's not going anywhere. Chariot in reverse, it's not going anywhere. What I'm seeing is that instead of negotiating, it's going to be humoring him. I don't see that. I guess they're not seeing any upside. There's some downsides to him not coming. This is starting to tell me there's no upsides to him coming. So, okay, so let's see. In the not too distant future, which is like when he leaves, the Sun. What this is saying, they're not going to be revealing what they're going to do, because they're talking, they're going to say, okay, we knew there would be those demonstrations went down to London. So, of course, if we decide to go through with this nightmare, We certainly have to keep everything under the vest about, or, undercover about security, this, that, and the other thing. Even his schedule. I mean, I remember working banquets with dignitaries, coming with Hillary Clinton back in 96. They told us what entrance we were going to come through, and at the last minute they changed everything. And we did everything like not in any of the way we were told before. So I think that is real sun and reversed. And I think it's planned ahead. Let them think it's going to be one way. And even though the FBI's checked them out, we're going to be on the safe side and go switch it at the last minute. So they know they're going to have to do that, but on a much, much, much bigger scale. Okay, so there we got that. Boy, I'm exhausted just thinking about what's with Scotland Yard and everybody else. So let's see what's going to happen. So let's see in the next. Oh, we have the Lovers. Okay, this is interesting because this is in the After Tarot. This is and it's upright. This is the Eve tempting Adam with the apple, which is, and they're still kind of far apart, and they know they're going to be getting the poison apple from all of this. I think what it's starting to boil down to is that the only reason that they would go through with this is because they made the commitment to do it. So there is also the thought, though, instead of he hasn't quite got his grubby little paws on that yet. So instead of taking the poison apple from the United States, they're going to have to come up with a real good whopper and stroke his ego all that we can. So, but further out in the future, we have, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This has happened before when I did another reading on this, because I know it's not really repeating ourselves, but the energy changes, and so this trip has really changed it. Not only do we have the tower, we have the tower that splits, broken off and split in half. So what this is telling me is that they know, and this is interesting because this is a little thing from the death card. We have the body lying on the ground. I think what they're seeing is that this whole thing could be a complete disaster. But with the tower being split, it's like we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. They know it's going to be a disaster, but they're trying to figure out how to make it less of a disaster than it has to be. But looking at this card, I would say you may want to come up with a real whopper. A crisis, the king is ill, whatever you have to do. That's, I would say, right now, it's not looking good. It's not that they're going to believe a tarot reader, but I would say if someone asked me, I would say, you got to he lies like he breathes. Those people are the easiest to con in a lot of ways. Just stroke his ego and just come up with a major whopper. And if he gets upset, he gets upset. He's going to get upset anyway. So I want to do a conclusion on top of this tower. So we have the King of Cups in reverse. So this is him and his emotional meltdown and maybe taking more of whatever the doctors are giving him. So I have to ask, if I do need to clarify, is this, he's going to have one whatever he whether he goes or he doesn't go, because he is really, he declines on a moment by moment basis. So I want to put a clarifier or two. Okay. Let's see if we can get a yes or a no from, or an indication. What is the better option for Mr. Meltdown? Okay. We have, going back to the past. Going back to the past, maybe, see what happened on his first term when he came to see the Queen. What pacifiers did they give him? That was a while ago. Who knows if that'll work? That might almost be like, treat him like the baby that he is, too. Just like his mother and father let him win those little games that led him to the golf cheating stuff, because maybe give the baby a pacifier. Well, let's see what this one says. Be very, very careful how you plan this. So, what this is telling me, at the present time, what I see in the cards is the security people in the UK are probably they're assessing this visit, and they're trying to figure out how to do this with the least amount of damage. I think the big thing, because he's going to be a titty baby, whatever, regardless. I think the big thing they're thinking about is security. Now, if that were to become the big issue, they have to be careful with that, because then they have to tell him, hey, everybody here hates your guts, except for maybe the 20 people that are standing at the side of the road. Everybody hates your guts. We have some pretty unhinged people here, and we're really worried about your safety. But then they have to tell him that everybody hates him. I think that's going to be the big concern. So they have to, if they are going to say no, they have to really reframe it with the king's health, all of that, and say, ooh, we're only going to tell you, but it's a big secret. He's really, really sick, but nobody else knows. But we love you, so we're going to tell you. That would be. So I think right now they're inclined to say, let's just see what we're up against, because he's going to both. I think, well, they'll whisk him right off to that castle in Scotland, which is pretty well insulated, but bringing him to, I think one solution would be, is to, if he's not going to be addressing Parliament, and the king is saying, London at this time of year isn't good for my health or whatever, they may keep him out of London. I think it's all going to change in the upcoming weeks. That because I think right now they're evaluating, and they have to say, how do we give the pacifier to the baby, and we've got to keep it secure. So I think what they are doing is seeing what this is going to be. And the thing is that with the Brits really pissed off at the Tories for trying to cut their benefits, they're not going to be real happy. They're not happy in all the taxes that they're paying, and we're paying also for this, dog and pony show. So I think they're sizing it up right now, but I think that they are definitely considering the possibility that this is not a good idea, but I don't think they're there yet. But they're looking at everything. So that's about it. But he'll think that they're going to show him all the love, and I think he was insulated to a limited degree. This trip, they're not going to be. That's the thing. They are not going to be able to shield him from 80 trillion people in Trafalgar Square and everywhere, in Hyde Park and everywhere else in London. So good luck with that, guys. But I think in another week or so I will revisit this. So at any rate, cheerio for now.